Good evening, folks, and welcome to the second annual BJ Media Awards. I'm Brandon Jones, founder of BJ Media, and I'm happy to host this event for the second straight year. I want to thank Chuck Levinas and Alex Zendejas for being sponsors for this event and helping make this happen. I'd like to thank Central High School for renting out their auditorium and also making this happen. And let's go ahead and shout out our state champions. I know we don't have any Mountain View Toros for the 6A girl flag state champions, but where are our 5A champs, Campo Verde, at? Moving to the boys' side, where are our Liberty folks at? Do we have anybody from Saguaro here, our 6A champs? Nope. What about our 5A champs, Higley? I don't think so either. And I know we don't have any of our 4A, 3A, and 2A champions, Canyon del Oro, Sabino, and Scottsdale Christian. I'd like to also thank our working crew, my guys, Leo and JB for running security, James Poovey for running this Epic Sports Network stream, my interns, Chase, Sedona, Josh, and Daniela for running the videos and photos so that you guys can have some good memories of this event, and our tech person, Mike Ryan from Central, for helping show us the ropes and control all the stage stuff. So thank you to everybody making contributions, and our social media intern, he'll be tweeting the winners as they're announced. If he can get any kind of connection. I know I'm not the only one who has like 0 bars. That being said, the order of awards being announced, we're gonna start with wide receiver, then we're gonna have DB, running back, linebacker, offensive line, defensive line, tight end, and QB. And then we will get into the girls' flag awards, defense, then offense, and then after that, we will have coach, 2-way, underclassmen, freshmen, and then our 2 biggest ones, offensive and defensive player of the year. Starting with our wide receivers, our finalists are Isaiah Thomas from Paradise Honors, Brandon Phelps, ALA Gilbert North, Desmond Roebuck, Marana, Nico Boncori, Cactus, Cooper Perry, Notre Dame Prep. I believe that's all 6, or is that 5? We can go ahead and play the wide receiver of the year finalist video. Get all, I train my dog a Minotaur. Clearest water, this the one made Jesus take his sandals off. Come knock on the devil's door, make sure you turn your camera off. It's Jay's in here, got all on their face, but they ain't Santa Claus. I'm trying to do the math on how much more it take to get this car. Never thought I'd get this far. It's both my arms, my wrist is sore. I've never been this up before. I'm paranoid as ever. Sam 6-2 clip curve and it's AR for protection. Karma can't even catch up, did my first dirt like 07. Even back then I'd tell you I'ma be like this forever. It was hot, I made it swelter hot like sit downs with the devil. Like the only way to get this to my state is if we mail it. And the bond we built was special. All the game, my game was separate. And they love me cause they know I catch a case and I ain't telling. Whoa, gas with the trigger, throw mud on it. Watching my chain, got blood on it. The end of the barrel got blood on it. Came out of the zoo, had a chick in the floor. Don't put it on if it's 20 or more. I can be the sins in Christian Dior. Hold up a G-Wagon, hold up my arm. Finessing the traffic, make millions, I'm rapping. You go to some city, they gon' sit on the go. Demons, piranhas, I'm moving the fisher. I keep my shooter wherever I go. I take pills and that's... This state has a lot of talent at wide receiver. Every finalist very deserving of the nominations. I'll go ahead and go down the line and recognize each one of these guys' accomplishments. First up, we got Isaiah Thomas, almost 1,300 receiving yards and 21 touchdowns in the regular season. During Paradise's Honors 3A championship run, they ended up being the runner-up to Sabino. His worst game was 8 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown.
Pretty good for a worse game, am I right? And Thomas and Morales were easily the best 3A receiving duo. Next up, we got Brandon Phelps. He is the state record holder in career receptions, career reception yards, and career reception TDs. He had another 1,300-yard season and 21 TDs as ALA Gilbert North moved up to 5A. And he caught a combined 19 receptions for 441 yards and 3 TDs in just 2 playoff games. Next, down south in southern Arizona, we have Miranda Jr. Desmond Roebuck. He had over 1,200 receiving yards and 8 TDs in the regular season with one of the toughest schedules in 5A. He broke multiple southern Arizona receiving records and still has a year left to go. And he is a 3-star recruit and number 9 player in the Arizona class of 25. Next up, we got Nico Boncori, another 1,000-yard season with 17 total TDs. His production increased significantly in the second half of the season when Ironwood transfer Juju Stubblefield became eligible and forced teams to not double and triple team him. And he holds a D1 offer from Iowa State and might be the most under-recruited player in Arizona class of 25. And then we got somebody who's pretty much the opposite in terms of recruiting. The number 1 player in the class of 25, regardless of position, Cooper Perry. He had another 1,000-yard season, absolutely torching DBs. He had over 200 receiving yards in the playoff win over Sunny Slope and put together another phenomenal campaign. And then we have Braylon Gardner from Liberty. Missed 2 games with injury, but still had almost 1,000 yards in the regular season. Sat out the second half of many games as every other Liberty player that is a finalist. They had an average margin of victory of 33 points per game. Doesn't make sense to have the starters in the third and fourth quarter if you're winning by that many points. So phenomenal season. It's by all the finalists. And I'm going to now introduce our wide receiver award presenter. He's a Philadelphia, Pennsylvania native. He held FCS offers out of high school, but bet on himself and decided to take the JUCO route. At his last season at Pierce College in Los Angeles, he had over 1,200 receiving yards and 15 TDs in 10 games before transferring to ASU, where he had back-to-back 1,100-yard seasons, including a game-winning Hail Mary catch to knock off USC, and he cemented himself in Sun Devil football history. He was then drafted by the Houston Texans and played 5 seasons in the NFL with the Texans, Jaguars, and Browns. And since his NFL career ended, he has started giving back to the youth in the Valley through training and his new 7v7 program called 602 Era. Everybody, let's welcome Jalen Strong to the stage.
How y'all doing? Don't mind Brandon energy. I know he's been working all day, y'all, so I'm sorry. But, yeah, so wide receiver position is one of the most premier positions in football, and we know that. And these finalists all showed extreme, talent throughout the years. All 1,000-yard receivers, all of them game changers and playmakers. And, watching them, play kind of made me go back to think like, man, I don't think I was doing this stuff when I was playing, man. So hats off to them. And without further ado, I would like to present this year's wide receiver of the year to Brandon Phelps. And Brandon couldn't be here. But his teammate Titan Slade will accept the award on his behalf. Thank you, guys.
Next up, we got our DB of the Year award, if you want to get that video started. Pretty phenomenal DBs in this state. I'll start with Miles Lockhart out of Basha, a four-star Ohio State commit. Missed the first game of the season with an injury, but came back and hit the ground running and was a key part of Basha's run to the Open Division semifinals. We have Iverson Small out of Centennial, who should be in the building today. Wave if you're here, Iverson. He averaged nearly 10 tackles per game as a safety. Might be the hardest hitting safety I've seen so far in Arizona high school football. Anything he lacks in size, he makes up for in heart and effort. And he is a member of arguably the best secondary in the state, alongside Kenny Worthy, Marcus Logan, and the combination of Hayden Allen, Landon Long, Ricky Munoz, and Isaac Worthy. Whichever college coach lands this kid is getting a gem. We also have Jacob Owens out of Boulder Creek. He also averages high tackle numbers and makes several big play saving tackles. He does a great job in zone coverage, and he never gets beat deep. He's another under-the-radar safety that college coaches should definitely keep an eye on. We have Kennedy Urlacher from Chandler, four-star Notre Dame commit. Yes, he's Brian Urlacher's son, as many of you may have guessed, and he's the member of another stellar secondary alongside Utah commit Sammy Hunter, cornerback JoJo Taylor, and three-star cornerback Nico Clark. We also have Cree Thomas out of Brophy, who just recently also committed to Notre Dame. He was unable to make it today because of track practice. When teams draw up their game plans, they plan to throw on the opposite side of Cree Thomas. And we also have Trey Smith from Apollo. 5 interceptions and 14 PBUs speaks for itself. When most people think about Apollo, they think about the trio of U of A commits, but Trey Smith is just as important of a part of that team. And funny story I have about him is Richard Smith was there when they were playing Thunderbird. He got his 3rd interception of the game, and he just shrugged his shoulders and said, "Why do they keep throwing it my way?" So I thought that was a cool story. That being said, I'm going to say a few things about our next presenter, and we'll get into it. This next presenter has been writing about Arizona high school football for years. He's always been a great spokesperson for those in the West Valley. So I'd like to welcome Richard Smith to the stage.
Hey, everybody. A lot of good DBs this year. I got to see about 4 or 5 of them. He is right. I got to see, I think, 4 or maybe all 5 of Trey's picks this year. I've heard, I got to see Miles as well. Heard a lot of great things about Cree. And it was there's some great DBs that weren't even on this list. So to get nominated is a real honor, because this state's got a lot of kids who can cover, and they got a lot of kids who can hit. My favorite part about presenting this award, though, is that it goes to someone that doesn't get his name mentioned. He isn't one of the 2, every top team has about 2 kids that get mentioned almost automatically by every guy in the media, every TV reporter, every radio guy. And this is a kid who really maximized his game this year and helped lift his team to a new level, and probably the best hitting defensive back in the state. So without any further ado, I'd like to congratulate Iverson Small on being on this year's award.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you to you guys for this award. And I'm just blessed to be in this position. Thank you.
Those whose positions haven't been called up, that was my fault for not mentioning this earlier. Kind of prepare a little bit of a speech. You know, thank your coaches, thank your mama, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. Next award up is our Running Back of the Year award. Running back might be the deepest position in the state. The class of 2024 has several running backs that will be playing Division I football and a couple more that may get D1 offers in the last second. If you want to go ahead and start the Running Back of the Year video.
For your wife, I'm Slaughter Gang. You know I brought my knife. He was talking gangster. We called him at a light. I let my young do it. It was free. He wanted to strike. Oh God, having my way with the cheese. I'm gonna deal with the beat. Oh God, I know that she ratchet. I can tell by the
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that colored clip of Cam Athey. That was not supposed to happen. I'm gonna blame it on the technology. Jordan Blake rushed for nearly 2,000 yards and 32 TDs despite his team not making the playoffs, and he led all players in rushing yards per game. We got Anna Muhammad, one of the players that's in the trio of U of A commits. He broke several school rushing records and had at least 180 scrimmage yards and 3 TDs in each of his 3 playoff games. We have John Wilson, moved here from Nevada, and that was one of the best things that could have happened to Liberty in their run to the Open State Championship. He was also phenomenal, rushing for over 1,200 yards despite missing a regular season game and sitting out the second half due to blowouts. We have Dylan Lee, who can't be here tonight, 3-star Iowa State commit, the only running back in AZ with back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons in terms of scrimmage yards. And then we have, this technology is really failing me. You guys saw the rest of the video. We have Cam Athey out of Central, had 27 TDs, phenomenal season aside freshman QB Cam Allen. And we also had Khalil Valentine, the 3-star Illinois commit, who continues to terrorize defenses. And we have Daxon Hall out of Higley, who just on Saturday totaled over 300 scrimmage yards and 2 TDs in a 5A championship win over Desert Edge. That being said, I'd like to introduce our next presenter. He's the head football analyst for Arizona Varsity. He's an Emmy Award-winning sports reporter, and he just wrapped up calling the state championship games. Everybody, let's welcome Cody Cameron to the stage.
Hey guys, first off, I want to thank all you guys for being here, especially you football players, man. You guys make all of our lives here, back here, all the media, you guys make our lives so much easier. You guys, and all you parents too, you guys do such a great job with everything. And the last person I want to thank for putting this whole thing in is Brandon and all of his staff. So if everybody can give a round of applause for this, is awesome. All right, I've been asked to do the running backs. And in my opinion, this is the most loaded group in the entire state of Arizona. And just from top to bottom, 2A through 6A football, such a talented group. We had so many players in this group that are going to play on Saturdays. I think it contributes to a lot of factors, but really when you look at that group as a whole, when you look at all these finalists, tremendous talents, and all the effort they put in, not just on Fridays. The off-season training, a lot of these kids run track in the spring. They did everything it takes to be a really good high school football player. So without further ado, this winter, I've been able to watch this player play in person multiple times. Phenomenal talent. And just in my 6 years of covering high school football in the state of Arizona, I think top to bottom, just an understanding of leverage and bouncing off defenders. I mean, he made the first 3 tacklers miss, not the first 2. Okay, the first 3 tacklers miss 100 times in his high school career. His balance, his speed, he's going to be a phenomenal talent at the University of Arizona. Apollo High School's Adam Muhammad. Come there, my man. Congrats on everything. Congrats on everything.
Just want to say special shout out to my family and all the reporters, just making articles about everyone here.
Short and simple, I like it. Next up, we have our Linebacker of the Year award, and we'll go ahead and start on that video of the finalists.
First person shooter mode, intending to sound with a few words. Just say they want office, you better be talking my work in the cubic codes. And it was that I got what I knew to code. Not the baby, I really know. Not the 3, not the 2, you and know. Yeah. You and know. Me and Chizzy like a Super Bowl. Man, then the biggest thing. Big as the Super Bowl, but the difference is it's just 2 guys playing that they did in the studio. Usually say they verses back to me and they be terrible, just like a 2-year-old. I love a dinner with some fine women when they start.
I'll go ahead and start with one of the 2 guys that I unfortunately didn't get to see in person this year, Brody Michael out of ALA Queen Creek. He's as good as the stats advertise. When you watch him play on film, he's quick in pursuit. He's the head of the snake for that ALA Queen Creek defense, and that's a team that people wrote off before the season, and they still found a way to make their 3rd straight open division appearance after being promoted to 6A, the year after being promoted to 5A. This team should be thrilled to have him back next year as he's a 25. We also have Zane Tallman and Keaton Stan out of Liberty. That linebacking group is easily the best in the state. You got Keaton and Zane constantly making plays. You have sophomore linebacker Hudson Dunn, who's a finalist for our Underclassman of the Year award, and they just wreaked havoc on every team that they played. We have Carson Cobb out of Horizon High School. That first play showed you, that was in the first quarter of the season opener against Canyon View. One-handed the ball and ran it back for 6. A direct quote from the Desert Edge coaches, Mark and Marcus Carter, that number 44 kid on Horizon is a problem. I got to ask Coach Lydon about his offers because he needs more. He has a great combination of size and speed, and he started his season off great with the pick 6 that I told you guys about. And lastly, we have Deacon Shea out of Notre Dame Prep. When people talk about Notre Dame Prep, they talk about Cooper Perry, obviously. They talk about quarterback Noah Trigueros, who also has some FCS offers. But Deacon Shea is easily the best player on that defense, and another guy who is definitely as good as his stats and film show. With that being said, I would like to introduce our presenter for the Linebacker of the Year award. He's the king of the West Side. He ruffles the feathers of some East Valley folks. He has said all season that a all West Side Open Championship would happen. And he's a big-time writer for Arizona Varsity and West Valley Preps. He's a former lineman for O'Connor and Mountain Ridge High School, and a coleslaw enthusiast, as us media folks like to tease him for. Let's welcome Jacob Saliga to the stage.
Man, really had to bring back the coleslaw joke now, didn't we, Brandon? The linebacker position is one of the hardest positions in all of football. You have to be as fast as a DB, you have to hit harder than anybody else on the field, and you have to be smarter than anybody else on the field. You have to predict plays before they happen, and at the end of the day, you are the leader of the defense when you are out there on the field. And these finalists, they played their tails off this season. You know, Carson, leader of that Horizon defense, one of the hardest hitting defenses in the state. Brody, he was killing it out there on the field for ALA Queen Creek. Zayden Tallman and Keaton Stam, pardon me, leaders of the Liberty defense that just won the open title the other night. And then Deacon Shea, tackling all over the field, taking care of business. And can't think of a better winner than this award than the guy who won it tonight. So without further ado, the winner of the Linebacker of the Year award, Carson Kalb, Horizon High School.
Thank you.
A lot of y'all got very few words to say. Next up in our positional awards, we got our guys in the trenches. Sorry. We have our guys in the trenches. I'm going to start with O-line, and then we'll get into D-line. Let's go ahead and get that O-line video going. This is another position where we got some dudes. I'm going to start with the guy who doesn't necessarily get the statewide recognition, Riggs Anderson out of ALA Queen Creek. This kid is nasty, plain and simple. He may not have the stars next to his name and all the Power 5 FBS offers, but this kid can flat out play, and it's a key part of that ALA Queen Creek offense, opening holes for the running game and protecting BYU commit Enoch Watson. Next, we got Carter Lavruski, who is headed to Kansas. We have Matthew Lotto, who's headed to Arizona. We have Amari Tase, who is headed to UNLV. And we have Mateo Rodriguez, who has 3 stars, but has not yet committed, but holds multiple FCS offers. With that being said, I would like to welcome our O-Line of the Year presenter, Jacob Saliga, back to the stage.
Long time no see. Before I get going again, give yourselves a clap. You know, clap yourselves up. Show yourself some love. You earned this tonight. I'm a little biased. I played O-line, so no, I'm a little bit impartial to this award. The offensive linemen, you guys are the heartbeat of the team. Without y'all, the offense can't do anything, can't move the ball down the field, can't run, can't pass. Without y'all, no, who knows where your teams could go this season. And when you look at the finalists for these awards, Matthew Lotto anchored Apollo to their best season in ages. Mari Teasi, heartbeat of that Saguaro O-line that just won the 6A title. Mateo Rodriguez, obviously Chandler, another great season for the Wolves. Caleb Jones at Mound Point, Riggs Anderson at ALA Queen Creek, and then Caden Hackle from Liberty, who just won the Open Division. You guys really set the tone, and without y'all, your teams can't do what they do. And so, without further ado, the Offensive Lineman of the Year award goes to Carter Lavrovsky from the Horizon Huskies.
I would just like to thank my family, coaches, and everyone who supported me throughout my football journey. And yeah.
All right, let's flip to the other side of the trenches, the D-line. Fun fact, our 4 Defensive Linemen of the Year finalists are also our 4 Defensive Player of the Year finalists, which speaks to the depth we have at edge rusher in this state. If we want to get the video started. Yeah, I think it's safe to say all 4 of these guys immediately catch coach's eyes on film, and that's why all 4 of them have Division I offers. I'll start with Deshaun Warner, who's right here in front of me. He'll be headed to Kansas in the spring, early enrolling. We also have Elijah Rushing, who couldn't be here today and couldn't make the drive up to Tucson. He'll be headed to Oregon. And we have Noah Carter, who couldn't make it out today, is headed to Washington next year. And then we have Jimmy Leone from Micah Mountain, who is a junior holding a D1 offer from ASU. I'd like to introduce our Defensive Line of the Year presenter. He's the arch nemesis of Jacob Saliga. He's the main voice of East Valley football. He is a Highland High School alum. He writes his stories early so that he jinxes the team that's winning. He's a contributor for East Valley Tribune, Arizona Varsity Rivals, and Varsity Extra, while also teaching sports reporting at ASU. Let's welcome Zach Alvear to the stage.
How are we doing? Good? Cool. I want to just make it known that it's really ironic that Jacob Saliga would have to present 2 awards to Horizon players when he predicted them to go 5-5 this year. So there's that. Way to go, Jacob. I'm glad this worked out. I told him I was going to do that. First thing, Brandon has done an amazing job putting all of this together. So I know we've already given a round of applause. Let's do one more. The Defensive Lineman of the Year award is something special. I mean, you know, we see all the skill players and skill players. We all love you guys too, but the game is truly won in the trenches, and defense wins championships, right? All 4 of these guys who have been nominated as finalists made differences in their teams. I mean, they were the heart and soul. They were leaders. They were the guys who everyone had to key on offensively to make sure they didn't make the plays. And even when they were keyed on, they still made a lot of those plays. So a lot of great names on this list. And without further ado, the winner, don't know if it was a hold or not, but Deshaun Warner from Desert Edge. Did you get the shirt? You didn't get the shirt yet? Not yet.
First off, I want to thank the man above for everything he has done for me. Thank you, my family, and everybody else that had a part in any process that I've been through. And it wasn't a hold.
I'll let everybody debate that one on the Bird app. Our next award that we will be presenting is our Tight End of the Year award, if we want to play the video.
I can tell the boots on the way out. 25 shows, check the payout. I ain't going home, I'ma stay out. Pinch when they look for a well. I just sit back and let it play out. And she gon' let me hit it any day now. What you gonna say now? Up my ex-girl got a bait now, but she still let me stay now. I got a Dallas and a H-Town boo. Got a Betty out in Cape Town too. Whole gang in steakhouse food. Get the check and check on what it came out to. I tell them I was on talk about the money, you know who they hand the envelope to. Big John got the cash and he been the go-to. Heard the beat told nigga put it in the Pro Tools. Got a fountain on the chain and it's indigo blue. Might fuck around and get a go-to. Got my rest
Phenomenal finalists for this Tight End of the Year award. We got Ryan Wolfer, who is busy celebrating his state championship and will be headed to San Diego State. We got Javery Mayberry, who is going to be headed to NAU. And then we got Peyton Bushlin and Creed Hallows, who not a lot of media folks talk about, but were the focal points of their team's offenses. Now, unfortunately, because of poor internet connection, we've lost the rest of the script, so I'm going straight off the dome for the rest of the ceremony. I'll introduce our presenter for the Tight End of the Year award. He just announced that he'll be headed to ASU to pursue his journalism career at the Cronkite School of Journalism. He's a host on 88.7 The Pulse. He currently goes to Hamilton High School. Let's welcome Adam Beadle to the stage.
How's it going, everyone? First, big thank you to BJ for setting all this up, and just a great night for everyone. I also kind of just want to say it's been kind of cool to go through all this year. I know a lot of you in this room are also class of 2024s. So to be able to kind of spend this year with you guys and to be able to share these moments, even though I'm not playing football, has been super cool. There are a lot of really great kids on this list. Creed Hallows, Javery Mayberry, Ryan Wolfer, Peyton Bushlin, and a lot of great people, but we can only name one, the winner. So coming all the way from being an all-state tackle last season, switching to the tight end position, playing it at a remarkable level, part of the 2023 Open Division champion Liberty Lions, San Diego State commit Ryan Wolfer.
We have 9 Liberty players that were finalists for awards, so this might not be Hudson's last trip up to the stage. He is not, in fact, Ryan Wolfer. The next award that we are going to be presenting is our last positional award, the most important position on the field, the QB award. Uh, 2023 might be the best year at QB that this state has ever seen. We have Gage Baker, who tied the national record for TD passes in a season with, was it 91? I think it was. We have Navi Bruzan, the reigning Gatorade Player of the Year, who captured his first state title with Liberty just a couple days ago. We have Damon Williams, the 4-star who is headed to U of A, who many people consider the greatest QB in Arizona high school football history. And then we have Enoch Watson, the BYU commit, who we just saw in that video effortlessly just flick it 60 yards. Really don't know how he does that, but I guess that's why I'm not a QB, right? With that being said, I'd like to welcome Peter Clark from 5-Star Sports, whether you call him 5-Star Pete, Pete Breakdown, or by his government name. Let's bring Pete up here.
First of all, I just want to start this off by thanking BJ from BJ Media and his entire staff for putting this on. You know, this is a great event to recognize some of the high school kids in Arizona and really give them a spotlight of recognition that they deserve. And before I start naming who the player of the year is for the quarterback position, I just want to say that all 4 of the quarterbacks on this list had amazing seasons. You know, the state of Arizona's had a great lineage of quarterbacks that's come through and just, you know what I mean, put up crazy numbers, went on to the Division I level, went on to the pro level. And, you know, all 4 of these candidates did that. Enoch Watson from ALA Queen Creek, Damon Williams, U of A commit, had a great 4-year career in the conversation for, you know what I mean, one of the top quarterbacks ever in the state of Arizona. Gage Baker just had a historic season, 91 touchdown passes, tied the national record. That's an insane feat, you know what I mean? And finally, Navi Bruzan from Liberty High School. He just finished off his senior year with the state championship, 300 yards of total offense, 3 touchdowns. Couldn't have finished it any better than he thought in the highest division possible, winning a state ring in his senior year. And without further ado, the Quarterback of the Year award goes to Navi Bruzan. And again, Hudson Dunn from Liberty, his teammate, will be accepting the award.
All right, now some of the bigger hardware is going to come off the table. This year was the first year that girls flag football was an AIA varsity sport. Let's clap it up for that. I mean, this was really fun to watch. A lot of great players, a lot of great teams. We had 7 finalists for our Offensive Player of the Year award and 6 finalists for our Defensive Player of the Year award. And we're going to start with our Defensive Player of the Year award video.
On the face of my city, co-signed by Diddy, hard liquor, I'm hotel, so bitty, gotta do my bidding, you change, no kidding, Wasn't always this pretty. Round way me, I'm fitting. Fourth quarter, ninth inning. Ain't no way we ain't winning. Back home for a week. Ain't no way we ain't sitting. If she can't stay with me, ain't no way she ain't pretty. Got the 808 hitting. Y'all some internet thugs. Basic face with me. Y'all hate when I lose. Tell me touch it one time. She a cake, stay skinny. I'd have been on that road. I'd have ate some great things. Yeah. Had some cracker barrel. Little brother with me selling Jack and Pearl. She a rich girl. She done had commercials. So
some great players featured in this video. Really happy to include them in this awards night ceremony. Obviously weren't able to do that last year, but we're definitely going to keep doing this going forward. So let's clap it up for that. You saw first in the video, you got Kayla Tacker, the interception machine out of Casa Grande. Sammy Koch, thank you for giving me the right pronunciation. I was almost guaranteed to butcher that. Great player, quarterback of the defense at Campo Verde. You have Mila Robertson, her teammate, pass rusher, insane amount of sacks this season, including, it had to have been 6 or 7 in that state championship game against Canyon View. I mean, she had that offense throwing fits, and this is an offense that scored 40, 50 points continuously. So that was really impressive. We also have Macy Bassett from Canyon View. Also played in the 5A state championship game. Really good at getting to the quarterback, but also making plays in the open field. Was towards the top of 5A in flag pulls. We have Cadence McCandless out of Red Mountain. Arguably the best defense in the state. The Mountain Ridge was able to get the better of them in the state semifinals, but that was definitely still a championship quality team. With that being said, I would like to welcome Miss Ray Black, the Castile flag football coach and an inspiration to many girls in the sport, to the stage to present this award.
Good evening. I'm so excited. Thank you, BJ, for including the girls into this event. Just to give you a little bit of history about how we started Girls Flag in our state. Chandler Unified School District, the district AD, he decided to get all 6 of his schools together because we had to start somewhere. And the place where he can control it the most was within his own school. So we all got together, Chandler, Castile, ACP, Hamilton, Perry, Basha, I think that's all of us. And we all got together and we played each other probably about 3 or 4 or 5 times because it just wasn't enough teams to get a lot of games in. But we, like I said, we had to start somewhere. So after we did that, we took this information and all this data we collected and how excited the girls were, and we took this to the AIA and we're like, hey, we got something really good, and look at the girls, they can play, and like, you know, like all this stuff, really juicing it up. And they're like, okay, so they came out, they watched the game, they were like, okay, yeah, they can play, they're athletic, they're having a great time, they have great sportsmanship. So the next year, I spent all summer running around. I was like, okay, I need more teams to join in with us next spring. So I'm going around and I'm meeting ADs and head coaches, and I'm like, hey, you know, you think you want to play with us next spring? We want to really pump this up, and we want to get the AD to push it to an AIA sport. So we went from 6 teams to about 33 in one season. So last spring, we had about 33 teams, and we all played each other, and we worked together. It wasn't an AIA sport, so we had to do all the legwork. So we had to plan our games. We had to get referees, and the AIA actually decided to help us out with that part last year. So it all came together. It was really exciting, and we had a really good, fun season. And then we go back to the AIA. We're like, okay, we got 33 teams, like, come on. So we have a meeting, and they skipped the emerging sport stage and voted it straight into being an AIA sport. So we got to skip a lot of the other stuff that we would have to go through. And this year we had our first AIA season. So shout out to all Girls Flag in Arizona. And I would like to appreciate all of the girls' flag coaches. Some of us knew what we were doing, some of us didn't know what we were doing, but we were doing something, and that's what we needed to do. So once again, shout out and congratulations. I'm so happy and so proud to have been a part of all this. So the first award that I'm going to present is the Offense of the Year award. And this young lady, I met her through social media. I follow her, we talk a little bit, but I try to support the most I can other girls that's in Girls Flag and all girls at different schools. And I would like to congratulate Caitlin Jewell and ask her to come up here, please, for Offensive Player of the Year.
I just want to thank everyone who believed in and supported me, Coach Manny, Coach Beal, my mom and my dad. Just thank you, and thank you for the media who got all me and all the other girls who started playing name out there. So.
The next award is for Defense Player of the Year, and I would like to invite Kayla Tacker up here from Casa Grande. If she's here, please come up.
First off, I would like to thank the AIA for opening the doors for us ladies, Jeff Lavender for getting the program up and running in Casa Grande, all my teammates and all my coaches for supporting me, helping me through the way, and first of all, my parents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a spoiler alert. Let's go ahead and play the Girls Flag Offensive Player of the Year so everybody can see that.
Symbolize love for our flag football sister at Desert Vista. Mountain Ridge and Mountain View flag football players and coaches ask that you stand for a moment of silence.
Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no sweat on my breath. Last time that I checked, had the 7 zones in the set. Make $250,000, no sweat. Last time that I checked, I'm the streets voice out west. Legendary self-made progress. Last time that I checked, first met the money and respect and the power and the comebacks. Last time that I checked, I've been self-made from the dribble. I was being said I'm a killer. Playing that games with you, pop, switch lanes on you. I laid down the game for you, taught you how to charge more than what they got for you. The whole thing for you, so then reinvest, double up, then explain for you. It gotta be love. Run the city, it gotta be gun. Start the pieces out to walk them and not anymore. If y'all false claims, it gotta be fraud. Just keep the hood about your mouth and you gotta be charged. Stop doubled up, tripled up, what? Banged on the whole game, I ain't give nobody tripping, had no business, got my digits up. And when I drop, you know I'm about to.
That being said, we're going to head back into the Boys Tackle Awards. Our next award that we have up is the Coach of the Year Award, which we do not have a video for obvious reasons. I will be presenting this award. We had 8 great coaches that were finalists. Almost all of them made state title games. Others really showed improvement for their teams and are truly an inspiration to their players, every last one of them. Shout out Coach Freeman, Coach Taylor at Centennial, Coach Thomas at Liberty, Coach Stallworth at Yuma Catholic, Coach Nugent at Micah Mountain, Coach Brown at Arcadia, it's 8 names, that's really hard for me to remember. But I'd like to shout out all of our coaches that are finalists. And with that being said, our Coach of the Year is Colin Thomas from Liberty. Yeah, all these Liberty folks are really going to owe Hudson a favor. I mean, that's already his third trip up to the stage, and we're barely halfway through this thing. Our next award is the Two-Way Player of the Year award. All four of these guys got it done on both sides of the field, and we're going to show a little bit of that in this video. Only 4 finalists for this one, so it's going to be pretty easy for me to keep track this time. I'll go ahead and start with Eric Rivera from Millennium. Going into the season, he wasn't even supposed to be in this conversation. He was primarily playing DB, but with some injuries to the running backs at Millennium, he stepped in at running back and really was outstanding, starting with, I want to say it was week 3, where he got his first carries as a running back. Had 5 total TDs, over 600 yards from scrimmage. We also had Noah Carter, who, on top of terrorizing opposing offenses as a defensive end, he was constantly head-tapping DBs as a wide receiver. Not very often where you could see a defensive end with that kind of size, have that kind of speed and route running as a wide receiver. Usually, at best, they're playing tight end, so that is truly impressive. We have Titan Slade, who put up incredible receiving numbers despite playing next to Brandon Phelps. There clearly were enough mouths to feed, as he went for over 1,000 receiving yards this season and made a ton of plays as a DB as well. He picked up a couple FCS offers from NAU and Northern Colorado. And then lastly, we have Caleb Jones. Y'all saw that clip in the video of him and his celebration. Honestly, that whole Cesar Chavez game, Caleb had me cracking up. From stumbling when he picked up a fumble and saw daylight to that celebration right there and his post-game interviews with Zach. Caleb is truly an entertaining kid, that's for sure, and also a great football player who will for sure be playing at the Power 5 level in a couple years. With that being said, I would like to welcome our Two-Way Player of the Year presenter to the stage.
Takes a lot of talent to play both sides of the ball. Got to be physical, got to be keeping tabs on what's going on both sides of the field. There's a lot of great players on this list, and besides the players that are just on this list, we've seen a lot of great two-way players in the state this year, and it's been really fun to watch. But the one we are awarding tonight, this kid in particular has had to step up a bit this year, jumping a conference, but he's played great football on both sides of the ball, and that is none other than Titan Slade, wide receiver, defensive back, ALA Gilbert North.
Just want to shout out my parents. My mom, she's not here tonight, but my dad, he drove me out all the way out here. Appreciate him and the support that he shows to me. Shout out to my brother as well. He's also our defensive coordinator. Kind of always been in my corner ever since I was a little kid, obviously, and then my coaches as well. Coach Reisdorf, our head coach, and obviously my team and the great season that we had. And thank you everybody who voted for me as well. Appreciate it.
Now we're going to start recognizing our youngins. We're going to start with underclassmen of the year, and then we'll get into freshmen of the year, if we want to start with that underclassmen video.
Black made back, leather gloves on that OJ. Okay, there you be and me, no date. Bands to make a dance, that's $1,000 foreplay. AK, get a full clip, not a sound wave. We kiss that in the mouth. Ask her how my taste. You don't want no drama. I work for a couple commas, was death before the sauna. Last king from Sana, all my shit be designer. Extraordinary rhymer, hot body for the nut. What's up? Hot temper, get wet up. She give me.
There's a lot of different positions in this award, which really makes it hard to make a selection. Our voters were split all over the place between the coaches, the fans, our media folks. I'll start with the QBs. We have freshman Cam Allen, who straight up did not perform like a freshman. I mean, he looked unfazed every game on film. He only had 3 interceptions, which I can't remember the last time I've seen a freshman take care of the ball that well. We have another QB in Donovan Dixon out of Cactus Shadows, who was a finalist for the Freshman of the Year award last year and really improved into his sophomore season. He rushed for over 1,000 yards on top of passing for over 1,000 yards, scored touchdowns all over the place, and even finished in Week 10 with 7 total touchdowns, which was a school record. We have Bodie Zamorano out of Horizon High School, who unfortunately got sick and couldn't make it today, but a phenomenal season as a workhorse running back. No doubt in my mind he'll be playing at the college level if he keeps improving at the way that he has. And then lastly, we have our wide receiver and our outside linebacker in Khalil Bender and Hudson Dunn. Hudson Dunn got to contribute to a state championship team and make a deep playoff run, which a lot of our underclassmen didn't necessarily have the supporting cast to do. And then Khalil Bender, on the other hand, not only was arguably the best sophomore wide receiver, but he also was one of the best receivers in 5A. With that being said, I would like to introduce our presenter of the Underclassmen of the Year Award, Chandler alum and my senior videographer, Gary Esther.
How's everybody doing tonight? Good. Underclassmen of the year. These freshmen and sophomore, it was not easy voting for just one guy. All are very worthy candidates, finalists. Had to do what they were asked to do for their teams. Nothing sort of was great. It'll be great to see how these guys progress for the next few years, and I know their respective coaches are glad to have them on their respective teams. So, further ado, the Underclassmen of the Year, unfortunately, is not with us tonight, but it's Donovan Dixon, quarterback, Cactus Shadows.
Dixon was another guy, had a banquet, so I think might switch up the dates a little bit next year so we don't have as many conflicts. I guess a lot of teams like to schedule their banquet the Monday after the state championships, which makes sense. Our next award, the Freshman of the Year award, all 3 of these guys made an immediate impact on the varsity squads at their respective schools. And we'll go ahead and start with the video. Three different position groups represented. We got Dante Tyson, who not only was a Freshman of the Year finalist, but a Special Teams Player of the Year finalist, 3 kick return TDs, 2 punt return TDs, and I believe it was a combination of 4 receiving and rushing TDs. Made an immediate impact at Peoria, who just barely made the playoffs, but nonetheless, with that young of a team, making the playoffs was an accomplishment of itself. They had a sophomore QB, sophomore running back, sophomore wide receiver 1, and freshman receiver in Dante. We have our running back, Noah Roberts, out of Basha High School. To be on varsity as a freshman, let alone making a big impact for the defending Open State champions, is an accomplishment of itself, and Roberts took advantage of every opportunity that he was given, and part of a really special freshman class, which a lot of his fellow peers will be on varsity next year. And lastly, we have the guy who actually goes to the school that we are standing and sitting at right now in Central QB, Cam Allen. Allen, like I said during the underclassmen portion, really phenomenal freshman season. Really impressed by his poise and the way that he takes care of the ball, and really just leads that offense despite only being 14 years old. With that being said, I'd like to introduce our Freshman of the Year award presenter, my intern, Mike Meekoff.
Good evening, everyone. How you guys doing? Holiday breaks right around the corner. I'm sure a lot of you guys are really excited for that. Just overall with the amount of talent in the Valley, for all these awards, really, let's just give it up to all the finalists here. I mean, great seasons, and all of you deserve to be here. Really, at the end of the day, such tough choices, who's going to win. It came down to really thin margins for most of these. Freshman of the Year, now you're expected to win Player of the Year in a few years. I mean, don't get me wrong, but, this was probably one of the best quarterbacks in 5A as a whole. This young man had 28 touchdowns this season, and all I have to say is, after watching film of this guy, whatever college program in a few years is lucky to get this guy, he's going to be an elite player. Let's hear it for Cam Allen, quarterback of this high school, Central.
I'd just like to thank my parents for putting me in this position. I'd like to thank Coach Hovick that's in the building. I'd like to thank my running back that's in the building too. And all glory to God. That's all I got.
I'll say that speech wasn't too bad for a freshman. What you guys think? Our next award is going to be the Special Teams Player of the Year. If we want to get started on the video.
I became what you fantasized about becoming. Had to quit sending music out because somebody around needs something. Every girl that I mess with knows what's up, but they keep coming. Pretty sure at this point they don't want to know the secrets I keep from them. Put your phone down, give me something. 25 and you broke. Talking about me on the internet, but you dabbed me up when we spoke. I don't know
All four very impressive seasons. It's not often that you see a kick return and punt returner return it for 5 touchdowns. So for him to be a finalist over a bunch of really good kickers and punters is a great accomplishment. We have James Dean, who did not miss a kick the entire season, which is an incredible feat to accomplish. We have Timothy Tynan and Sam Hunsaker, who both only missed 1 kick the entire season, with both of their longest field goals being 47 and 51 yards respectively. I will be presenting the Special Teams Award, and without further ado, I'd like to welcome Timothy Tynan to the stage.
I want to thank my coaches, my parents, my siblings, and Alex Zendejas, who's the sponsor, because I worked with him all summer and for the last couple of years. So thank you for preparing me, and thank you.
All right, now it's time for the awards that everybody's really been waiting for. First, we'll do Defensive Player of the Year, and then we'll do Offensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Pinnacle fans are tired of seeing that clip of Noah Carter body slamming their quarterback. That one's probably hurt a lot. That being said, same finalists as our Defensive Lineman of the Year award, so I'm not going to get too much into individual players after talking about them earlier. And with that being said, our Defensive Player of the Year is Noah Carter from Centennial High School. He wasn't able to make it, but I was told that his mother was in attendance. If she is, please come to the stage to accept the award. All right, we'll have his teammate Iverson take it. All right. Our last but not least award. I guess this is the high school equivalent of the Heisman Award. Let's get into Offensive Player of the Year. Obviously, during the positional awards, talked about all these guys, 4 phenomenal players, 4 phenomenal finalists. I'm not going to waste any time getting into it. Our 2023 Offensive Player of the Year is Damon Williams from Basha. He wasn't able to make it, so if Timothy Timon could come back to the stage to accept it on his behalf. Surprisingly, I ended up finishing right on time. At the beginning, it looked like I was killing a lot of time, but we ended up catching up. So bear with me. I'm not a big public speaker, as you can probably already tell. But I'd like to thank our sponsors, again, Chuck Levinus and Alex Zendejas for making this happen. I'd like to shout out all of our working crew. Can James Poovey stand up and wave to the crowd from up there? Does really great work with live streams and is a huge part of exposure for this event. Can my guys, Leo and JB, our security, stand up real quick? If y'all randomly see me in public, I'm probably with one of the two of them. The three of us pretty much do everything together. So those are my dogs. I'd like to also shout out all of our presenters, so if all of our presenters could take the stage, and let's give them a round of applause. I guess they're being shy right now. We'll shout them out later. I'd like to shout out our tech guy, Mike Ryan, for helping us put this on. I would have known absolutely nothing about what to do, so shout out him. My interns with the cameras, Chase, Josh, Sedona, Daniela, and then our social media intern, Truett. If you guys want to stand up, let's give them a round of applause. I'd like to thank everybody for making it out. Really great attendance. I'd say we probably have twice as many people here as we did last year. Really good to see everybody. We are in a little bit of a time crunch, so let's gather, take some photos as you're heading out, but let's try to get out of here within the next 20 minutes so we can take everything down. Would love to meet some of y'all that I haven't already met, and I hope everybody has a great night.
I'd rather be here than Doherty, so. This is about the people.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Hey, you killed it this season. I was talking to some of the other guys. Yeah, I think next year we need to get a small ball player of the year award. Guy who puts our stats out of the home. I just appreciate you. I want to take a photo of Muhammad. Y'all plans for college yet? Not yet, so waiting. I mean, I have a couple offers I can get to.